Hello and welcome to India Ideas. This is the show where we talk about science and tech, innovation and entrepreneurship. I'm Gautam Roy, and today we are talking about young women powering startups as more and more startups are popping up in the country and there are women founders galore. And there's a report that leadership teams of 45% startups in India have a woman co founder, a trend which is expected to further inspire more and more women to turn their ideas into startups. And we're talking about that today with three young co-founding women, and they are Tanya Malik, who's a co-founder of Bharat Jal, which provides clean drinking water to commuters using electric vehicles affordably in urban and semi-urban areas. Dimpy Diwan is with us, co-founder Hanchins, which is a hyper-local food delivery app connecting hand-picked city special restaurants, food brands, and eateries to foodies like me, as is obvious. And Lakshmi Das is also with us, co-founder Prophaze, which is the first cyber security company globally to provide a pure Kubernetes-driven software-defined web application firewall, bringing in scalability, better performance, and speed for web apps while cyber securing them. So that is quite a mouthful, and we'll find out what that is all about with Lakshmi as well. But first, if I could ask you, Tanya, let's talk about your enterprise as well, Lakshmi. Your startup is in the cyber security space sector, as you might call it, and it has its own USP. Globally, it has a USP. Tell us more about it and your own role in the enterprise.
Basically, to talk about Prophaze, we are actually a cybersecurity web application security provider. So what we do is we have changed the whole trend of cybersecurity because India was not having a very good secure domain because we were actually dependent on the international players for securing our web applications or anything. So there was a major gap that we had actually participated one of the IDIT's challenges. So there was a question like, why would actually we trust the data with a foreign organization instead we could actually do it in India itself. Like, we are going for everything make in India. So even cyber security, security has to be dealt with seriously within the country because, just as we have the military force out there on the borders, securing our whole nation, they are not actually there to attack the others, but they are on the defense front line. So same way, we are actually trying to defend our data because data is the new oil and everybody is eyeing for each other's data and what they are actually doing within the organization. So that is very important that we deal it with topmost priority and we kind of change from the reactive to a response mode because Indian mindsets were more of a reactive wherein they would actually think of tackling the problem when it occurs, but that's not going to be suitable in the cybersecurity area because that would lead to a lot of damage to your organization, your reputation, your business revenue, everything goes for a toss. So I feel that it's high time that we take it seriously.
Proving their metal is what you guys are also doing. And Lakshmi, just to ask you, in terms of how things have gone for you so far, I just want to ask you, how do clients respond to a woman co-founder, when you go present to them or pitch to them? Do they factor that in that you're a woman, or is it something that they don't really pay much attention to and just pay attention to your pitch?
Yes, that is a definitely interesting question. So, first of all, cybersecurity companies, or rather product companies, are like you could say a handful in India. So I come from that very that small space, and it's relatively kind of a young domain. So in that way, I would say that when they see a women co-founder, I mean, first response will they'll actually have a surprised expression, okay, a woman co-founder kind of expression because it's like very rare. So I'm really privileged that I am into this space and I can be an example for others also to come up because in our organization we have many ladies out there who've got like a lot of caliber being in the cybersecurity space, like even one like being the top performance comparing to the men counterparts. So because they manage it all, I mean, not just be the tech space or marketing, operations, everything. So they have that kind of multitasking or that skills, the multitude of skills they have they bring with themselves, which is actually very beneficial for a startup. In that sense. So that way,
Yeah.
I feel it's really it's changing. The trend has to change, and a lot of new folks have to come into the cybersecurity domain because it's the need of the hour for the country.
Certainly. One way to do it is to have more and more women in leadership roles to,
Absolutely.
bridge that gap that is there, not just in terms of leadership of companies, Lakshmi, but overall in terms of employment as well, because there's a huge gap in our country in that sphere as well. And better way to do it than women giving women opportunities?
Yes, definitely. So actually, you should be a kind of an inspiration so that others can have the tendency to take up challenging roles, especially in the field of cybersecurity, wherein even the like general talent that we have like out of the colleges, it's kind of not so great. I mean, so we have to have bring up that awareness and bring in a lot of cybersecurity related trainings and stuff, and encourage them to take up certifications so that they're tech enabled, they're cyber security, they have that vision in them. And so this actually can bring in a lot of change. And because this is a very a very competitive field, because we are actually trying to compete with the international vendors out there, the big players out there. And to compete and stay on par with them, it's not an easy game. I mean, so it's been a big struggle for us, getting that credibility in the industry, having the brand name in the market. So, and the accelerator has actually helped us in a long way actually. So in all these kind of accelerator programs, so that being a as you said, being a co-founder, a lady co-founder, not many would actually give that the credibility to you, especially being in the security domain. Like, what would a lady be actually doing here, kind of thing. So in that way, these accelerators did actually help us come out and get mentored by a lot of industry experts and be exposed into the market. And all these kind of supports we've been given. And luckily, so, and in the pandemic time, like, because of the huge digitization that's happening, cyber
Yes.
security is a major priority, because everybody is actually working on their online mode, and a man-to-man business is not there anymore. So
Yes.
this way you feel that cyber security is really important, and a lot of people have to be trained in that way. And we've been actually asked to take webinars to actually educate people, and like later with governments of various states, and how we can actually change the education system of India to actually adapt to bring in more tech-enabled folks, rather than just the theory-based folks that actually the system of education that we've gone through. So
Certainly, the
that
new education policy is all about that, and skilling, and the way even Mudra loans have been issued out. A lot is being done to empower women and get them into the workforce as entrepreneurs or as employees as well. And we can see a good example of that in front of us. And all the more power to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot. We enjoyed it.